Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Got another exciting battle report for you guys today. It's going to be a bit more on the narrative side with a bit of a twist to it. I will explain about the mission packet after we go on the army, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alrighty then, so first up we have the Astra Militarum. Their regimental traits are elite sharpshooter, so they get to reroll one hit roll, and swift as the wind, so they add 1 to their movement characteristic and 2 to their advancing. Today they are being led by Acadian Castellan. He has the warlord trait superior tactical training, so he is able to issue a different kind of order other than regimental, and the orders that he will have is mechanized command. He also has the warlord, the relic of Death Mask of Alanius, so he has a 4-up and vulnerable save. Up next we have a Commissar, just a standard Commissar with a power sword and plasma pistol. He will be escorted by 5 Fulgrin with mauls and slap shields. Over here we have a squad of Kazrakin. The sergeant's got a plasma pistol and power sword. We've also got the sniper, one with the melta gun, one with the plasma gun, and one with the melta mine. The rest just have hotshot las guns. The sergeant also has the Barbaran's key, so basically once per game he can just teleport anywhere on the map. And then we have one Leman Russ with the Tank Ace Knight of Piety, so basically a 5-up and vulnerable save, and then I think it's a 5-up or a 6-up, I'm not 100% sure, on Mortal Wounds. He has the standard battle cannon with a sponson of the las cannon, and then 2 sponsons of heavy bolters. Overall, that is 550 points of Imperial Guard. Let's go ahead and now move over to the Salamanders. Alrighty then, and now we have these Salamanders, so let's go ahead and get on into them.
Alright, for my Warlord, I have the Captain in Terminator armor. I used the Exemplar of the Promethean Creed to give him an extra Warlord trait. So he has Forge Master, so he has +2 to Toughness, and Miraculous Constitution, which is if he loses a wound, he can roll to get one, get it back. Then I have the Apothecary, normal rules for him. Then I have my Centurion Devastator squad. They all are equipped with las cannons and hurricane bolters. And then finally I have the Tactical squad. The Tactical Space Marine squad has 7 regular Marines. The Sergeant is equipped with, of course, the Commie Flamer. Then there's a Heavy Flamer and then a missile launcher. Regular Flamer.
Alrighty then, and that is also 555 points on the nose. By the way, I actually painted this Salamander Apothecary for my brother quite recently in one of my videos. It was on the review for the Army Speed Paints. If you haven't already, go ahead and check that out. But that is it for the Army, so let's now go ahead and go on to the mission. Alright, so here we are with the mission. So it's going to be a custom mission. The way it's going to work as these Astra Militarum units were simply going through a Salamander checkpoint. And like all other Astra Militarum units, they should have stopped and waited to be inspected. However, this unit of rogue guardsmen simply just blew through the Salamander's checkpoint. So it is now up to the Salamander captain to figure out what has gone haywire with these men. It is described as if they are under some sort of trance, not physically knowing what they are doing or what they are truly up to. So it is now up to the Salamanders to stop them. The way this is going to work is this troop carrier is going to be moving from this side of the table all the way over to this side. It's going to have all the way up to 5 turns to make it over there. Its movement is just going to be a standard 6-inch movement. And like I said, it's going to have all the way to 5 turns. If it reaches the end, it's going to be a win for the Astra Militarum. However, the Salamanders do happen to apprehend the vehicle, then it's a Salamander win. The vehicle cannot be targeted by the Salamanders, and the Astra Militarum cannot use any of the weapons that are placed on it, such as the heavy stubber or the heavy bolter, as actual weapons. It's just simply going from one end to the other. The only way for this vehicle to actually move is if one Astra Militarum unit is by the vehicle within 6 inches, allowing it to move. If by some chance there are no Astra Militarum units within the 6-inch bubble, the vehicle comes to a halt until, per se, another Astra Militarum unit comes along and is within the 6-inch movement range, allowing it to move forward. The way it's going to work for the Astra Militarum is they are going to be deployed in this little box right here, simply a 12 by 12, and the Salamanders have the rest of the table to deploy. Now, they do have some limitations where they cannot be within 9 inches of the deployment, and the way that their deployment works is they do not have to deploy all at once. It doesn't cost them any CP or anything like that. They can either deploy their whole army at the beginning of turn 1, or they can wait until the end of turn 5 to simply stomp it all out. Like I said, it's just a simple narrative one. This will be a part of a series. This is just part 1. So let me know what you guys think. So let's go ahead and get into deployment. All right, so here we are after deployment. The Leman Russ is hanging out here next to the vehicle. We got the Kazakin right up here at the front. The Bulgren also up at the front. We have the Commissar right here behind the Bulgren. And we have the Cadian Castellan right here in the middle. For the Salamanders, we have a huge blob right here of the Terminator and the Terminator Captain and the Primaris Apothecary in the center of the blob of standard Space Marines. And then the Centurions off over in here. Now, we went ahead and rolled for deployment, and it's going to be the Salamanders who go first. So let's go ahead and go to their turn 1. All right, so turn 1 with the Salamanders. As far as movement goes, they actually stood still. All that happened was the unit of pretty much everyone in here fired all their shots into the Kazakin. Funny enough, even though they put all their shots into them, only 2 of them died. It was just 2 of the guys with the hotshot las guns. However, the Centurions put all their shots into the Bulgren. 2 of them died immediately from las cannons, and then 1 was tickled by all of their hurricane bolters. I did forget to mention I spent a CP to try and save that, and failed. So yeah, I'm down to 4 CP. That's I forgot to mention at the beginning of the game, and my brother is at 6 CP. So starting back up, now it's going to be where I'm at 5 CP, and he'll be at 7. So let's go ahead and go to guard turn 1. All right, so there is a lot to go over for this turn. So I'm going to do this in order as best I can. So for orders, the Cadian Castellan gave the Kazakins first rank, second rank fire. He then gave the tank pinning fire. The Commissar gave the Ogrins show them steel, show them contempt. The tank fired his main battle cannon and las cannon into the Centurions, and was only able to kill one of them with the battle cannon. It fired its heavy bolters into the Space Marines. It did get a wound off, however, with the Primaris Apothecary coming in with the clutch. Yeah, I'd have to say he actually held up the Space Marines on this round. The 6-up Feel No Pain, he was only able to deal 1 wound to one of the Space Marines. The buffed Kasserkin unit with the overcharged las cells and Experienced Eye failed to kill off many Space Marines either. I think they only killed off 1 or 2. The Commissar killed 1 Space Marine. The Commander failed to kill 1 of the Space Marines. I then charged the Ogren into the Space Marines, able to kill off 1 of them. However, the captain over here was able to kill one of these guys in combat, and another Ogryn fell to Overwatch. So it's just one Ogryn left. This is the board right now. So far nothing. The vehicle moved up 6 inches, so it's still trucking along, but we don't know for how much longer. So now let's go ahead and go to Salamanders, turn 2. All right, so it was turn 2 for the Salamanders. Not too much happened. The Centurions pretty much stayed still, as well as did all the Space Marines. The Centurions put their last cannon shots into the Leman Russ. However, I popped smoke, making a -1 to hit, and thus they were only able to score 2 hits, but I was able to make one of the saves, and it only dealt 2 damage, bringing the Leman Russ down to 11 wounds. They fired the Hurricane Bolters into the Khazarkin, killing off 2 of them. The captain and the Space Marines fought off the Bolgrin. However, he was able to hang on with 1 wound left. I know it's a little hard to tell with the shiny dice. And then the Bolgrin fought back and was able to bonk one of the Space Marines into oblivion. So let's go ahead and now move on to Guard, turn 2. All right, a vicious turn 2 for the Guard. Once again, we'll go through the list. The commander gave these the Khazarkin take aim. He didn't give any orders to the battle or to the tank. And then the Commissar gave get back in the fight for the Ogryn, so he fell back and he was going to do a charge. However, as you can see, he's not here, so that didn't work out too well. With the Khazarkin giving take aim, they put pretty much all their they actually put all their shots in the captain, bringing him down to 1 wound. The Commissar shot one of the Marines, killing him off. Commander tried and he failed. Battle cannon and the last cannon from the tank went into the Centurions, killing off one of them, and then the heavy bolters into the Space Marines, killing off another. So I did charge the Ogryn. However, they enacted the fires of battle, so the mortal wounds just pretty much ate the Ogryn before he even had a chance. So that is it for the Guard. Now it is all over to the Space Marines. Turn 3. All right, so another vicious turn here done by the Salamanders this time, and a lot went on. So we're going to do the best that we can right here. The Space Marines and the Captain and the Apothecary fired, well, actually the Captain and the Apothecary fired everything into the Guardsmen and killed off 2 of them. The Space Marines enacted the fires of battle and flamecraft and dealt, I'm trying to do math here, 5 mortal wounds and damage to the tank. The Centurion tried firing, however, I did pop smoke and it failed, so thus it was only left down to the Space Marines to deal some damage with it. Then the Space Marines charged. I enacted vicious traps onto them. There was only 3 Space Marines left. 1 died in the charge. I heroically intervened with the Apothecary when he made the charge, or when the Space Marines were still there. The Captain charged both the Commissar and the soldiers. The Space Marines killed off one of the guys over here and removing the Captain from killing off the remaining guard. However, he did wipe out the Commissar. Captain got on some strikes and killed off the remaining Space Marine. The Apothecarium killed off the remaining 2 Guardsmen. However, I did enact fire on my position, dealing mortal wounds. However, it actually did more damage to me than it did the Salamanders, because the Apothecary did not receive any mortal wounds. My commander received 3 mortal wounds, and the Terminator Captain only received 2 mortal wounds. So pretty brutal. So yeah, now we're going to go ahead and go on to the Guard, turn 3. All right, so turn 3 for the Guard was pretty quick. considering the fact they only had 2 models left. The tank received orders for a gunner's kill on sight because the commander had to move up with the vehicle to try and get as much of the inches as he could, despite the fact he fell back, so he couldn't really advance, allowing the vehicle to get its main 6 inches on distance. I gave it the gunner's kill on sight to reroll hit rolls of 1. It fired its main battle cannon and las cannon into the Centurion, but it did not get to fire the las cannon as pretty much the battle cannon blew it up. However, I wanted to put my heavy bolters into the captain, but my brother invoked self-sacrifice, where basically the tank could only shoot the apothecary, and dealt 2 wounds to him. And obviously, since my commander fell back, he cannot do any shooting. So let's now go ahead and go into Salamanders, turn 4. All right, so turn 4 for the Salamanders, and not much happened. The apothecary made a self-sacrifice into the tank, and was eaten up in Overwatch. However, that allowed the captain to come in here without being shot, and he dealt 2 damage to the tank with the sword. However, I did want to say they did kill the commander for the guard here, so it's just down to the tank. And now with the guard being out of the way with the vehicle during the movement phase, the vehicle is just going to sit there. So it's now up to the battle cannon to try and take out this captain. So let's go ahead and go to guard, turn 4. All right, and that is it. The final mark of it. So just to give a solid recap of what happened for the guards, turn 4. He fired all of his shots into the commander, was able to knock off 2 wounds. However, during the fight phase, the captain unleashed the strength of the Primarch, giving a +1 to wound, and any 6s dealt double damage. He got no 6s, but he dealt enough damage where I failed 2 saves, and he got through just enough to blow up the tank. However, destroy the tank. However, there was no explosion. So that is it for the battle report. It is a Salamander victory. We don't know what caused the Imperial Guard to act that way. However, we have reason to believe that what caused it was in this vehicle. So tune in next time when we have the second part of this battle report to see what is the context inside of this vehicle. So that is it for the battle report. I hope you enjoyed it. Now let's go ahead and go into the after action report. Alrighty then, so here we are for the after action report. So your apothecary, it was his first time coming out. What are your thoughts on him?
I probably would have lost without him because that tank was doing mega damage, and like your regular guardsmen were doing mega damage to the tactical marines. But he probably saved them from like 10 plus wounds at least, and then he also saved the the captain had Constitution, but he also like gave +5 wounds to the captain. So yeah, the captain probably lost like in total like 10 wounds this game.
Yeah, he could have possibly died like twice over.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the MVP of the game. So probably gonna bring him more into games, huh?
Probably.
So definitely was a nice, interesting twist with the narrative. So I hope you guys stick around for part 2. Like I said, I'll try and get it out next week. I'm gonna be heading up for work somewhere soon, so my video upload schedule is going to be a little bit hectic in the coming weeks. So I'm going to try and get out the second battle report for this one here pretty soon. But that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it was more of a narrative game, not really so much of a competitive or the usual. So I hope you liked it. Feel free to leave a comment, like and subscribe, as it would really help the channel go a long way. We're so close to 400 subscribers, so it would really do me justice if you guys go ahead and, give the support to the channel. So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.